All right. Good evening, everybody. David E. Taylor, you're a piece of me. Hear that? If you don't know what that means, it means shit in Spanish. All right. What's going to happen to Denise once she finds out that David isn't a real apostle? What do you guys think? Put your questions in there. Chris Com, hit that like. Thanks for being here, everybody, again to talk about David wannabe Benny Hinn Taylor. David, there's a lot of nicknames for you, buddy. Black Benny Hinn, wannabe Benny Hinn, Booty Bandit Davy Cakes. What else do we have for you? All kind of names. But for Michelle, tonight's about you, Michelle. We got to stick on Michelle tonight because we don't really give her too much attention. And out of all people, she's the one who probably deserves it the most because David, Will Calloway, thanks for being here, man. Appreciate you tonight, man. And Michelle, you're the one who's been complicit in this whole scam. I was thinking about this today. How, when you realize that David's been scamming you too this whole time, I mean, what are you gonna do when you get nailed up for fraud, Michelle? What are you gonna do? I think I posted the questions in the description. Let me see. What will happen to Michelle once she realizes that David is actually fake? So what will happen? Michelle, you had a really good job. And the fact now that you're on the internet, like in a not very good way, people will know that. Your face is on YouTube for a deposition, where there was fraud going on, negligence and mishandling of church money, all kinds of not good stuff for you, Michelle, for your resume. Will she turn on David? She'll be the last to turn on David. She'll be the last one to turn on David. I don't know. What do you guys think? Chris Com, what do you think? Will, Donna, what do you guys think? You think she'll turn on David? Or you think she'll go down with him? I think she'll go down with him, though. She'll stay till the end. She'll go to jail with him. No doubt. Going down with him? Yeah? Okay, cool. She seems like super Karen. That would be like a good shirt, dude. That'd be a good shirt. Get a picture of Michelle and put super Karen. Why is she so loyal? Yeah, Michelle, why are you so loyal to him? That's a good question. Maybe she's the one who is suffering from Stockholm Syndrome the worst. Yeah, they visit his secret place. And hang on, let me look up the definition of Stockholm Syndrome so everybody knows, because I think Michelle's suffering from this. A condition which hostages develop a psychological bond with their captors during captivity. Yep. So, I don't necessarily want to say Michelle's a captive, but maybe she is. But how, Michelle, how did you get caught up in this in the first place, Denise? Yeah, don't call him David. Like, really, Michelle? That shows that alone shows how caught up you are in this. For you to come out and tell somebody, don't you call him David? Like, you're... like that. Maybe not so much Stockholm Syndrome, but maybe something different. Because Stockholm is like when you're a hostage, But maybe in a sense, Michelle, you are a hostage. You just don't know it. Yeah, Will Calloway, connected to him physically and mentally. Maybe the abuse that he's put her through, like that keeps her connected to him. Because Michelle, we most likely know that you're David's punching bag, okay? That's where I got from several sources. Oh yeah, and that's the thing. Like, think of her self-esteem, Will Calloway, to think that Michelle's like watching David sleep around with all these other women, and then she's just standing there while it happens after he's been, double dipping in the cookie jar, so to say. Yeah. That's dirty, Michelle. You should just give it up. You should just give up what you're doing with David, because it's not gonna end well. We're still filing fraud reports against you, Michelle. Still filing fraud reports. Dude, you guys are horrible, dude. You guys have no shame. Yeah, I was cured a couple weeks ago, Kevin McShane. Yeah, she wants to be first lady, Will Calloway, definitely. But she already is, and it's a power struggle for the women there. All the time. It's a power struggle. Yes, Chuck Wood. Yep. All you had to do is be on TV, but now that the internet's out and the deposition's out, it went viral and exposed it and had the opposite effect. I'm pretty sure David's like, oh, this is gonna look really good for me. First lady of KFC. That's what Michelle's gonna be. She's gonna be first lady of KFC. Yeah. Chris Calm, I'm with you there. Yeah. She wants to please him. But why though, Michelle? Why do you want to continue to please this guy? Like, he's setting you up for failure. He really is, Michelle. You just don't see it. Maybe you do and you're just too dumb and you don't care. I don't know. We don't know. We're trying to figure that out. That's the debate tonight, is what's going to happen to you. We already know David pointed the finger at you in the deposition. Then you pointed the finger at Ashley in the deposition. So it's called passing the buck. That's what that's known as, Michelle. It's called passing the buck. And that's what you guys do. That's what all these churches do. And I don't know if any of you saw, but Joel Osteen had to pay back that $4.4 million that he got from the PPP loans, fucker. He got the money and then shut his church down for 8 months. So after all the shit on social media, he finally gave back the $4.4 million. But that was probably fucking pocket change to that asshole. I know. It makes me wonder if she is setting aside money for herself. Who knows? I don't know, though. Yeah, she's clearly whooped, and there's nothing like, Michelle, get out, man. Yeah. I don't think he had to, but after all the backlash, he gave it back. Muff cabbage. Michelle, muff cabbage. Yeah. That's the thing, Michelle. You should just give it up, man. Like, really give up the scam. Turn David in. You have all the evidence of what David's been doing since what, 2013, 2012, 2013? You have the last 7 years of David's scam, which is pretty much, it seems like the biggest part of it for the most part. Michelle? I got eaten up by mosquitoes tonight, man. Yeah, and see, that's like, I try to have a little bit of empathy for her, or sympathy, but it's like, when I see the way she acts, it's like, damn, man, how? He'd have to sell all his assets, bitter bitch. He'd have to sell all his assets, all his houses, all his cars. But he's only got to pay Harold Lewis $500,000. I don't see why his dumbass didn't just give him the $500,000 back. I guess stupid ass. He wouldn't have been dealing with the court case. He'd probably dump more in lawyer fees than he. Stupid, man. Well, he has plenty of ass, but I don't know about assets. His jeans. Somebody was talking about how he wears jeans and shit. Like, his like what did they call? Somebody called him thing. Is David wearing like curtains or something like that? Well, yeah, bad bitch. He's got all the concubines there too. So you think about that. He got the ass. Yeah. I don't like to talk about it like that, but assets, yeah. He is. He's running. He's running that ministry like a brothel. He really is. He's running it like a brothel. And the thing is he's making the women all compete for power. That's how he keeps them all in check. Michelle's most likely the one in power right now, but he's gonna make everybody else compete for power. That's part of his scheme. We know, David, you like to make all the women compete for power in your cult. And what he does, he probably sits back and watches it, and he's like, yeah, look at these chicks. They're all over me. They just love me, but what you're doing, David, is just destroying them. You may not think so, but we're sitting back and watching it happen. I mean, Vicky Yohe even told us what happened. Clay's how the women need to bow down. You're such a sack of shit, David. He comes in and like says, I'm not no chauvinist, and then like, you need to bow down to me. Like, dude, you ain't bowing down to nobody, David. The only reason people bow down to you is because you have them scared of you. That's why. All your little concubines and Joseph, like that was just all Joseph, a little bit of dignity, man. Like Pimp Pastor 21. Yep. I was looking at some Maddie Nottage today too. This bitch. Holy shit. See, I found like some gibberish today, guys. Give me 1 second here. Check this shit out. These motherfuckers getting their steps in right here. Yeah, Michelle, you claim to be a victim, but we all know you're complicit. Michelle, yeah, to be a victim. She'll play if the shit goes down. When the shit goes down, Michelle, she will play the victim. Yeah, Vicky Yohe. Yeah, she was a star and just lowered her standards to David. It's almost like Alec could play that shit for like a little bit. That's some other chick down in fucking Jamaica or something like that, man. Holy shit. Like if her and David were to have kids, this chick is what their kid would look like, man. Peace dreams, thanks for coming. Yeah, shit made me want to dance. Dude, this Maddie Nottage chick is crazy, man. She takes the cake, really. She really does. It is his daddy David's sister. And just as the minister said, oh, and holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty. One of our channel followers, Ken Dominic, got on here one night and told him that some dude came on his amputated leg has grown back. Dude, that shit was fucking funny.
It's also that God is bringing some of you
to
us to have to raise. Are we understanding today?
Are we understanding today?
And when you become, you will not forget God was the one that made you.
Like, it's almost like they could fucking run a reggae concert or some shit. Her and David, like, you could put them up on stage together and they could run like some kind of fucking like, how do you say it? Church, like church reggae choir or something like that. She could be like the Jamaican side of it. You know what I'm saying? Like the fucking, like the Irie Dread side of it. I'm not like dogging you on the Irie Dread. I'm just saying you could be like that. She could be like the Irie Dread side, and like David could be like, I don't know. Yeah, this chick's crazy. Let me see if I can find Ken Dominic. Give me 1 second. There it is. I'm not sure. Is this him? No, that's not him. Give me a second. Fuck, where's it at? He's part of our channel, man. I want to find that because that shit was fucking funny. That was like, I don't think this is him though. Man, damn it. Lord, you have such a sense of humor. Oh yeah, fucker. Which one, Iron Price? There's a, I have, dude, they have not called me. They will not call me. Videos on YouTube, man, they stop calling right away, dude. They don't like knowing that their shit's out there and that their scam is being exposed. Oh, that 3-week call. The old guy, dude. Dude, that old guy was boss. I wish I could have got his name, man. I wish I could have got his name. I tried to see if I could find his number to call him back. And I even went through some of this because I could see on the flip side what number it was coming from. And I tried to text some of the numbers like, hey, I think you might have been getting scammed from my number, right? And yeah, that guy was, when he got on the second time, man, all I could do is sit there and just let it happen. I wasn't going to hang up the call, man. It was too good. It was too good. I couldn't let that call go. And the fact that it happened like that, it was, you know, it was completely raw, fucking unedited version of the way those scammers work, man. Like to think that's happening probably to, how many of y'all get scam calls here? I do, dude. I get them all the time. And for him to for that to happen like that. It's APOSTLE. David E. Taylor. See, but the thing was Guy 3, Iron Price, he didn't know who Guy 3 was. Like, he couldn't hear me. The scammer couldn't get us in on the 3-way call together. That was the thing, and I was really hoping. It was like the scammer had to mute himself for me and the guy that he brought in on the call. It was weird. Like, we all couldn't hear each other at the same time, which kind of sucked. I should have merged that other scam call that I was getting. I should have answered that call and put him on hold and then brought in that other scammer. It was an Iron Price, but that just shows, man, how rampant it is, dude. It's disgusting. It really is. And to think like some people actually fall for it, dude. It's usually going to be your elderly, infirm, mentally ill people like that are going to fall for those scams. You know, David's no different. David is no different than those fucking scam artists that call to fucking try and scam you out of your fucking Medicare card information. That's a Medicare scam. Most of those guys are like Medicare scams, but most of the time they call from the same place. Which one, Peace Dreams? Yes, same people David target. Yeah. Irie Dread, did you watch the video of that phone call? I know, dude. I know all about Heaven's Gate, man. Chris Collin. I'm from California originally, dude. I remember the day it happened. I saw it on the news, man. Oh yeah, that lady that died in a plane. Did you see her fucking hairdo? these prophets and apostles, even Maddie Nottage, like fucked up hairdo, man. This chick that died in that plane crash, fucked up hairdo, man. David, fucked up hairdo. Look at Joel Osteen, fucked up hairdo. It's like their hair gives them special powers or some shit, man. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, and that's the thing, bad bitch, is David throws in religion. Like, he throws in a curveball. You know, like, let me go ahead and just fuck people's life up just a little bit more by using religion, you know? Let me go ahead and manipulate the soul a little bit on these people and fuck them over, you know, worse than I already am. That's the route that David takes. That's the best route for David, basically, is because that's the only type of people he knows how to scam is the mentally ill. I know Todd White could donate some dreadlocks to David. Can you imagine Todd White's dreadlocks on David's head? David walking around with a big ass fucking head full of dreadlocks. Oh man. Yeah, and it is, Chris Calm. You notice through all these like prophets and apostles, it is like all their whole wardrobe. Like the one that I seen, what was her, Gwen Gamblin, with the hair, it's like she does the pump, but it's like poof. It's like up there, man. It's like over defined pump. Kitty Love, thanks for being here. You can have some of my great ones. T-shirts. You need the FLE. Oh, Gwen Chamblin, Chris Calm? Yeah. Did you see how big her hair was, Peace Dreams? It's like if she tilted her head to the side, and like she'd fucking pull her over. You know, I don't wish a plane crash on anybody, man. I hate flying, man, and that's my worst fear, dude. Getting in a plane and my plane going down. I don't wish that shit on anybody, you know. But it's almost like Vicky Yohe was kind of doing the same thing, this weight loss cult medication kind of scheme, you know. He doesn't have it doesn't look like he has a head full of pubes. He does have a head full of pubes. Dog the Bounty Hunter. Rest in peace, Beth. Yeah. Yeah, Beth was badass. Yeah. Doesn't look like it. It is a head full of pubes, and it's disgusting. Like, Dave, you should just shave your head, bud. Just shave your head, man. There's nothing wrong with it. David, you know that whenever there's a dry subject and we get dry in the chat, we can always go back to your hairline. Yeah, she was as bad, David. Yeah. Yep, that's what I'd heard, that she was just as bad. It would. David, just shave your head, man. Just shave it all off, bud. That's all you got to do. One trip to the barber, dude. It wouldn't take long. It wouldn't take long. Not only that, like, you could stop blowing money on your hair medication and hair implants. You could just go to the barber and get a haircut for like $12, dude. Dylan T made their people go off grid completely. Oh, wow. Gwen Gamblin did, huh? Gwen Chamblin? See, it's almost like that's what David's making his people do. Go completely off grid. That's what he's making them do, it seems like, especially living up in that mansion. Oh, okay, Dylan T. Okay. I'll have to brush up on my history on that. I remember it, though, really well, dude. And that's what David's doing with these people. Only certain people can leave that fucking mansion. That's the weird thing about it. This is like the aha moment where the government should be like, fucking light bulb above the head. This shit has happened before. History tends to usually repeat itself until we learn our lessons. What we do, we repeat our lessons until we learn them. So the fact that David has this mansion that nobody ever leaves, he has fucking live lobster delivered. You know, that's a big red flag for me. I'm with you 100% there. Yeah. And there's no telling how many people live at that mansion now. You know, the new mansion that they bought. But they have people all over the place. But I was talking with Nambi Pamby. How small his congregation is. The fact that it's like he's most likely scared off all the smart people, and then all the people that are left are the ones that are just really brainwashed and just stuck. Like, and Michelle, you're the one that's like stuck out of all of them. And the thing is, it's Tony. I think Tony's even been there longer than you, Michelle. Yeah, Tony's been there for like 10 years. Michelle, you've been there, what, 7? You've been there since 2013? So yeah, Tony's been there longer than you. It's teeny tiny. Indiana KJD from the UK. David C., homeboy from the KJD, says, eat it. I'm gonna really try to refrain from curse, see if it'll help me keep the subscribers, because I was talking to Navi and Pammy about it today. I can't break 739 subscribers. For some reason, it's like it'll hit 740 and then drop down to 739. For like weeks, I've been staying at 739, so I'm gonna try and stop cussing or keep it to a minimum, just to see if that helps. Because I'm trying to do 1,000. I want to get to 1,000 subscribers so I can do like mobile live streams and stuff like that. But I can't do it to 1,000 subs, so I'm gonna try and keep the cursing down a little bit. If the cursing comes out, it's because I'm pissed at David, but that's the only reason it'll come out. But just know, David, inside my head, I'm calling you every name in the book, okay? Including a sweaty sack of shit.
I got it. I recorded it. Once this call's done,
I don't know. He might appear for Thanksgiving. And David's like buying subscribers. That's what he's doing. David's got to buy his channel. He can't do it the organic way.
Look at what he talk about. He says, I'm tap dance for no religious.
I did get a message from Betsy Kobo today, everybody. Betsy Kobo, you my boy. Betsy Kobo, it's me, sir. I've been meaning to film something. The last time I made a video, the sound wasn't there. I got a camera. You got my word on this. I will have a video posted Wednesday for sure, making the comeback. My boy Bedsick, full frontal. David, he might come out for Thanksgiving. He might. I hope he does. That'd be nice. Okay, Michelle, we're going to go ahead and pick up on the deposition, and we're going to talk about everything that you're involved with the deposition, as far as like what David's going to talk about, because we did leave off on Shut the Muck Up last night. I did save it where we were going. And I think we could kind of go ahead and pick up off on there and kind of keep Michelle in the conversation with everything that David's been saying in the deposition, because he's coming up to the part, Michelle, where he's going to start pretty much telling you, everybody, to ask Michelle. So Carton South Park, straight up through the Mid River. Oh, the Jim Jones scenario, yeah, and I'm with you guys on that. Like, again, Detroit Cowboy. Yeah, sketch mode with you guys there. It's only going to be Michelle will be at the mansion. What if just Michelle's there? No, he's going to have more people there. He's going to have a lot more people, no doubt. Have Michelle, Joseph, Tony, some of his other concubines right there with him too. Yeah, it's an eye opener, man. Once you see I never that Gwen Chamlin chick, when I seen her, I was like, holy shit, man, check this chick out. Yeah. Bitter bitch. She's showing her face on Marcia McDonald. Yep. In the boat video. Remember, she's all, hey, Apostle, this is your daughter, Marcy. That was Marcia McDonald. Had to put the people who work the call center someplace, right? Yep. And I wonder if he's operating a call center somewhere. No doubt. He has to. That's going to be the ultimate moneymaker. That's where that's her bitter bad. That's Marcy. Yeah. So that's her. She's built like a fucking linebacker too, like Michelle. You know, you could put her on the fucking front end of the fucking Dallas Cowboys probably, and she'd be all right as a tight end or some shit. And no, it's not actually his daughter. They all that's the weird thing about it, guys, is they all claim that David is it's his spiritual daughter. That's what it is. Yeah. She could probably the things that the football players hit, and it's got like the 5 guys on the front of it. She could probably push that shit by herself, man. That's how tough Marcy's built. She could probably hit that thing and just be like, bro, and push it at 50 yards, man. Yep, that's La Marcia. Yes. That is La Marcia. That is La Marcia. Yeah, I wouldn't want to fight her, dude. She'd fucking tear my head off, probably. I wish she was on our side fighting against David, but we all know that's not going to happen. And it makes me wonder at what capacity she's even operating in anymore. If she's still there, or she finally gave up the scam and is like, you know what? Peace, I'm out. The Dolphins need all the help we can get. That's too funny, man. Sloppy Wig definitely fits the bill for a David concubine. Yeah. And I'm just, man, I don't know how these women like David, Michelle. Well, this is all about you tonight, really, Michelle. Michelle, how did you get in bed with him? We're not done. And for you to sit here and try and tell us that you have never slept with David, we're not done, okay? That's how it keeps you guys in control. That's a part of the cult, man. And again, it's the whole power complex. By David sleeping with all the women, it's like he pits them against each other. And then they have to fight for power. But Michelle's always most likely going to be in power because she's the main concubine. Michelle, Denise, Brannon, you are the main concubine. You've been there. Even stories we've read, even sources that have told us that when you showed up, you were given all this power all of a sudden. Yeah, emotional blackmail. And that's the thing, Peace Dreams. Michelle, I'll just call you Michelle Denise or Denise. I'm going to switch between Denise and Michelle. People that have called and I've talked to on the phone say you take most of the brunt of the verbal abuse from David. That's what you deal with, Denise, is that David actually makes you cry in front of the rest of the staff and things like that. Like you're pretty much his emotional punching bag, man. And it's, I don't know why you just don't give it up. That's why he looked so depressed last time he came out on camera. I won't say how I noticed, but I noticed. I'm sure a lot of the other people did too. I sure did. I don't know if it's medication or if you're just stressed or depression, but high cholesterol diet like David, eating them steak and lobsters, you know, who knows? Who knows? But it looks like you kind of put on a few pounds, Michelle. Like the face told it all. Okay. You noticed too, bad bitch? Okay. And I don't like that. I'm not body shaming here. I'm just saying, like, you can tell a person's weight fluctuation will, yeah, and then it's just the stress, depression. I'm sure she's got to be stressed the fuck out, knowing that her deposition's out there now and that people are watching it. You know, not only that she's tied up in this. She looks sick. Without Michelle, Indiana, yeah, 100% with you there, dude. Yep. You know what, though? The part she didn't handle herself in was when the male lawyer came on and started questioning her. That's where she lost composure. Like, she sunk in her seat real low when that male lawyer came on and started questioning her. Yeah, bitter bad. See, like, Michelle's emotionally damaged. We know that. So that's going to cause her some depression, anxiety, no doubt, probably self-esteem issues, shit like that. You know, and for her to be caught up in this, yeah, KJD. When I watch it like that, dude, body language speaks a lot, man. Body language speaks a lot. Watch the arms, watch the composure. Like, she gets real uncomfortable when she gets questioned by the male lawyer towards the end. She doesn't like being questioned by him. Didn't like that. She was really uncomfortable. Almost like, again, the fact that it was a guy question, a male figure questioning her. It's like I noticed her emotion changed when it was Colleen mentioning, like, questioning her. Michelle just had this shitty, smirky attitude. Yeah, and bitter bad. The thing is Denise, I've heard that you're David's emotional punching bag. Yes, Peace Dreams, you noticed it too. Yes. Indiana, when you watch, she kind of sucks her shoulders into herself, dude. Big body language cues, man. And then it's like she's sitting up and then she kind of shrinks down. Stand by. Jam in my quote watch. Here we come. Part three, bitches. Okay.
You know, but I also gave her cash for it.
Pick up her son's tuxedo.
My son's tuxedo.
I'm sorry, pick up.
Yeah, it's not a joke.
My 12-year-old.
It's not a joke, there.
For
everybody. She's friendly with everybody.
Okay. Have you ever heard her offer to give money or?
I did not.
Do you know who did?
Ashley Ware.
And you would have no personal knowledge as to
To be able to do anything meaningful with them before 9 o'clock. Done.
Ms. Brannon, my name is Moen Gadimi. I represent Deborah Frazier. Just a few questions for you to clarify your testimony. Now, part of my ignorance here, but can you tell me what tithing is?
Watch the eyes, man.
Tithing is in Malachi 3:10. The word says that a person's supposed to pay their tithes and offering. A tithe is 10% of your income or what you receive in your hands.
That's mandatory or discretionary?
Well, I mean, it depends on those that want to apply the Bible and those that don't.
What do you mean by that?
Meaning, if you want to serve, if you serve God and you believe the whole Bible from Genesis to Revelation, then it's without, it's a
Michelle probably couldn't quote any scripture between Genesis and Revelation.
sure
Just
word of
keep you in mind,
prophecy.
okay?
So in other words, it means that yes, you need to pay your tithes.
Okay. What about benevolence? What is that?
Again, I'm
Austin
not
Jade, hit that like.
readily familiar with benevolence, but other than giftings, yes. I mean, it's something that could be used as offerings or.
What we were just talking about too is just the body language it speaks. No, and what they're doing here, what this lawyer is doing is basically discrediting Michelle, which he did brilliantly. He discredited her right here 100%, which was brilliant because David came in saying, ask Michelle, right? Now this lawyer's hitting her with all these fucking bank records like, hey, do you know about these bank records? Do you know about these bank records? Oh, who made these? Who made these? Oh, well, I don't know. And that's just showing the depths of their scam. Basically, this lawyer was brilliant. And Michelle, like the body language with Michelle, it clearly showed that like once this guy started questioning her, she got real scared. You could tell her demeanor changed from when Colleen was questioning her to this male lawyer.
A gift.
Would you consider both tithing and benevolence a part of religious expression?
Absolutely.
Can we just clarify? You indicated, however, that you were not aware of any benevolence fund at JMMI specifically.
Correct.
Okay. Just want to.
Sure.
Sorry.
Okay. I don't believe that was Deborah's testimony, but that's another issue.
I would like to know what that other issue is. Anybody? Like some of the stuff they said in here, like, hey, what's that other issue? What was the testimony that Debbie gave? See, so we know there was a testimony given about Debbie. This just proves it right here. Well, that's not what Debbie said. That's Debbie's testimony that does that, What was said in that testimony, according to Debbie? Let that one drill your fucking skull for a while.
Now, you testified earlier based on counsel's representations that it seems Ms. Frazier may have violated some court orders. Do you recall saying that?
I recall agreeing when I was asked that. Did she violate that?
Have you seen any of these court orders?
I have not.
And so you wouldn't be able to say, based on your own personal knowledge, that Ms. Frazier violated any court orders, correct?
Correct.
Michelle shitting bricks right here, guys, for sure. This is the thing right here. Michelle is definitely shitting a brick because she knows every in and out detail of this organization. And the body language, look, like right here, see how she's like kind of shrunk up in herself? She's starting to sink down low into herself. She's starting to get hammered on, and this is making her really uncomfortable. I've watched this over and over, and I've listened to the body analyzing experts and listened to what they say about body language. And this is classic that she is very out of her element here. She's uncomfortable answering these questions, and she knows she's been caught.
Now, you talked earlier about a conversation you had with Ms. Frazier relative to your frustration about how JMMI was kind of wrapped up in this whole mess. Do you recall your testimony?
Correct.
And if I understood your testimony correctly, you said Ms. Frazier never said that she was going to pay JMI's attorney fees, correct?
That's correct.
But it seems that
I think that's a mischaracterization of the testimony. I think that Ms. Brannon testified that based on the transcript from Mr. Taylor and his comments, that he was told by Ms. Brannon that Mrs. Frazier was going to contribute to the attorney fees, that if she said that, and Mr. Taylor believes that she said it, then it was true then, although she may not recall it now.
But I believe what she testified to was Ms. Frazier said one thing, and what I'm going to get at is the communication between her and Mr. Taylor. But if you could clarify then, since there seems to be some disagreement, what was the nature of your conversation with Ms. Frazier relative to attorney fees for JMMI?
It was frustration.
Michelle mentioned this in front of Debbie Frazier, so they'd pay her fees, basically.
That JMMI had to come up with attorney fees and had to, not just the attorney fees, but the court and providing all these documentation. And it's a lot of work. It took a lot of work from me.
So for clarification purposes, because there seems to be some confusion, did Ms. Frazier make any statements to you that she would pay JMMI's attorney fees?
It's possible. Mr. Taylor stated that I said that and he wouldn't lie. So it's very possible.
Do you think it's possible that you may have made a miscommunication to Mr. Taylor relative to this issue?
It's possible.
I'm gonna object just for the speculation and all.
It's possible.
Do you believe it's possible that Mr. Taylor may have misunderstood what you were saying?
It's possible.
But David is supposed to be this all-knowing. Yeah, he wouldn't lie, and he knows Jesus. Yeah, we'll touch back on that in a minute, Austin J. Think about that. Think about that for a second. Why would Michelle mention that kind of shit in front of Debbie Frazier? Because, oh, well, Debbie has the money to pay their fucking legal fees, right? Hey, let me mention this in front of Debbie Frazier, so she'll just be like, oh, I'll pay your legal fees. Here you go. Here's the money for it.
Ms. Brannon, I'd just like to go over some of these exhibits with you. I'm not going to go through everything. I'm handing to you as been marked as Exhibit 1.
Discredit time.
Yes.
Now, did you personally prepare what is that chart present on the first page?
I did not. Exhibit 1. I did
Exhibit
not.
1. Do you know who did?
Ashley Ware.
Okay. Do you have any personal knowledge
Yep,
as to the
there goes
accuracy
shoulders.
of what's contained
She's-
on page 1?
This is where they start passing the buck, okay? Because this is where David said, ask Michelle. Ask Michelle. Ask Michelle. This is where Michelle gets real fucked right here.
I don't.
Okay. Could you flip to page 2? Same question. Did you personally prepare that document for JMMI?
This is a bank account statement, and no, I didn't personally prepare this.
Did you personally pull that off? I believe you probably got off a website or something. Would that be correct?
Ashley did. I did not.
Okay, so again, you have no personal knowledge as to whether that's an accurate account of what was.
Good or bad? Colleen, first on earlier on in the deposition, said, well, hey, David said, Mr. Taylor told us to refer to you would coming with all these questions. No, Colleen hit her with that question first thing in the deposition. Like, hey, well, how come Mr. Taylor told us to refer over to you all of a sudden? Why? And then she's like, I don't know. But here now she's passing the buck to Ashley here. I'll get into some of the other shit here too, and we're gonna
Taken off the, I assume it's Bank of America.
Correct.
Okay, if you could flip to the third page, please. Again, same questions. Did you personally prepare that statement?
I did not.
Do you know who did?
I
see
don't.
how fucking low she
And so
slumped in
you
her
wouldn't be
seat,
able to
guys.
testify as to
Remember
its
how high up she was
accuracy.
sitting when Colleen was questioning her? Now she's down here like this. Indiana, catching the body language.
And did you personally prepare that document?
I did not.
Do you know who did?
Ashley Ware.
The hair over
you
the
have
eye.
no
Watch the hair
personal
go low.
knowledge as to
Okay.
the accuracy of.
The hair right here, guys. Right here. Big fucking sign. Not cool. When she didn't like the questions, she would hide behind her bangs. Just like that. See the bangs starting to droop down? When she got really uncomfortable, just one eye. That's all you would see.
Those statements, correct?
Correct.
I'm just going to hand you some documents just to keep everything. Oh, okay, that works too.
Yeah. She's keeping the hair over her eyes. It's very, yeah.
Brannon, I'm handing you what has been marked as Exhibit 8. Did you personally prepare that document?
Exhibit 8. No, I didn't.
Body language experts, when you tuck down into yourself like that, it's like you're protecting yourself. You could tell here she puts her hands between her legs and she's bringing herself into herself. So that's a comfortable position for her.
And do you know who did?
I do. Ashley Ware.
Okay.
Pass
You
it
have
about
no
to Ashley
personal
here now,
knowledge
okay?
as to the accuracy of what's contained in Exhibit 8, correct?
Correct.
Now, was this document something that was prepared just pursuant to a subpoena issued to you?
I am not sure.
Okay, so you wouldn't know if this is a document that JMMI just kind of keeps on a regular basis.
That's correct.
She's lying here. The soft voice, yeah. And again, right here,
Prepared just pursuant to a subpoena issued to you?
I am not sure.
Okay, so you wouldn't know if this is a document that JMMI just kind of keeps on a regular
Right here.
basis.
That's correct.
Okay.
that's correct. That's her. She knows. Michelle, we know that you know exactly what's going on in this organization. And for you to sit here and lie your oath to the lawyers, you know, we're not dumb. We know, you know, everybody. We all know that you know all the books, Michelle. We're not dumb. And you lied under oath, Michelle. You're supposed to be a Christian. Yeah, kid in the principal's office, man. No, it's good or bad. I just got your text message. That's yeah. It's there. There's micro expressions in this deposition, and both of them. David's is even worse. Michelle's. I've caught several in Michelle's little micro expressions. Yes, and I'm like, holy fucking shit! Like, did you? I don't know if anybody's caught on to those micro expressions. Has anybody else caught on to the one where Michelle said something to Colleen and then she was just like shot her some fucking shitty eyes, and then I seen one on David where he was looking at the camera, he was like fumbling with his thing, and then he looked up at the camera, then he was like fucking shot eyebrows at the camera. I'm like, oh, what the hell? There was all kind of other little expressions. I saw David mumbling under his breath. You know, all kinds of different things. And if you guys pay close attention, if you ever sit through and watch the depositions, pay very close to the body tension, not so much the words, but pay close attention to the body expressions, everything. Yeah. Same with Michelle.
Number 8.
Michelle's uncomfortable, man. We know you're uncomfortable here, Denise.
Keep this one aside. Ms. Brannon, I'm handing you what has been marked as exhibit number 9-1. Did you personally prepare that exhibit?
Exhibit 9-1. I did not.
Okay, do you know who did?
Ashley Ware.
Do you have any personal knowledge as to the accuracy of what's contained in exhibit 9-1?
I do not.
And again, same question. Do you know if this is something that JMMI just kind of prepares as a regular course of its?
Look at the body language here, guys. Look at the facial expression, the body language, the hair, the everything. Take a moment and just suck that one in for a second. Yep. Bitter bad, say Michelle here, but look at the body language here at Michelle. Like, look at that right there. Look at how low her shoulders are slumped. That's just screaming like, I know that's a meme. Oh man. Yes, Megan Fitzgerald, thanks for being here. Yeah, 100%. Like, she knows her hand's caught in the cookie jar, man. And that's Denise, that's your position for caught in a lie. Right there. That's Denise. That's you, Denise. Busted. It's because she knows she's passing the buck off to Ashley Ware. She's like, okay, I can pass that off. Yeah,
business, or was prepared pursuant to a subpoena issued to JMMI?
I do not know.
you're a liar, Denise.
I'm now handing you was marked as Exhibit 9-2. Did you personally prepare that exhibit?
Exhibit 9-2, I did not.
Okay, and do you know who did?
I do not.
Now she's slunched
And
over.
so you cannot personally test, you don't have any personal knowledge as to the accuracy of any statements contained in Exhibit 9-2, correct?
Correct.
And again, do you know if that was created pursuant to the regular course of business, or was it pursuant simply to a subpoena?
I don't know.
Okay.
I love seeing her squirm.
I'm handing you what's been marked as Exhibit 10. And let me make sure I'm understanding that correctly. Is that a list of contributions
Yep.
made by Deborah Frazier to JMO?
KJD, yes. Yeah, body language, man. It's like her nodding when she's answering in the affirmative. Even, and another thing is like even certain parts of the deposition, she'll say, to be honest, I don't know. Like it's proven, like when you're under stress and you're being like you're answering untruthfully, you're gonna say, to be honest, I don't know, shit like that. I've been watching a lot of like true crime shit like that, and one thing that I love watching interrogations, man, just for some reason, because it's amazing at the information you can extract with the right questions. You ask the right questions, you can get the right answers. And I think that's what's so brilliant about these depositions. Stephanie Lazarus, Michelle, David. I watched Russell Williams. Who else? I watched another one just the other day that was pretty brilliant. It was a double murder. And I watched the way these interrogators go in and question these criminals, and just how brilliant and patient and calculated the interrogations are. They go in there armed with questions, and it's a complete psychological setup. Yeah, there's a strategy and a reason for everything. There is. Like, what would have been better if they put David in a small room and then questioned him? Like, we see on the first 48 where they put like murder suspects in these small rooms. Yeah, you put him in a small room, put him in a like a 8x8 room in a corner. Yeah, you make them feel really uncomfortable. There's a lot of psychology that goes into an interrogation and the way people are questioned in a deposition. It's all psychological. Yep, it's 100% psychological deposition and being interrogated. I think it's awesome, because back in the day when you got interrogated, you just got fucking tortured. There was no, let's just ask them questions, No, they tortured you. And it was usually the priest or somebody who was torturing you, where a priest was usually standing close by watching you get tortured because they were wanting to know what methods would extract the best information. True story. History major, guys. Studied Dark Ages Europe, and the church tortured people, man. The church tortured a lot of people. And that's, yeah. So, yeah, the way interrogations are done now, it's a lot different, man. You just go in armed with the right questions. My favorite interrogation is Russell Williams, the guy from Canada, and this interrogator. What was his name? Sergeant Jones, I think his name was. This guy from Canada. Did you see that one, Bitter Bad? If anybody hasn't seen it, I recommend you watch it. Russell Williams. He was this Canadian Air Force pilot, and he was going around and committing these like assaults on women, breaking into houses, things like that. He was flying like C-17s. He was a major, he was living this way crazy double life. And that guy, yeah, his case, man. Yeah, it's Jim. It's Jim. It's Jim Peace Dreams. Yeah, Jim Johnson or something, but it's Jim, I think. Yes, that was what was so brilliant about that one, Bitter Bad. That was a 9-hour interrogation, and he broke him. That's the whole thing. Like, they break it down. You know, it's a 2-hour interrogation. Like, they shortened it down, but that interrogation was 9 hours, and he broke him. He took him in there in the morning. That guy walked out of there later in the night as a fucking murderer. The guy sat there with him for 9 hours, broke him. Like, to have that much patience, yes, broke him brilliantly. And it was like that interrogation that I was reading about that, Bitter Bad. Yeah, the whole interrogation was 9 hours, Peace Dreams, but that video is only, they cut it down because there was a lot of pauses in between. Watch this timestamps on it, but that interrogation was over 9 hours. Yes, that's exactly what they did. Yep. They already had built, they had already kind of, those guys up at the Canadian Criminals, like psychology profiling, those guys are badass at what they do. They had already known about him, and they were already kind of had a profile on like how he was going to operate. Like, he was extremely intelligent. He knew it. What was even worse, because, you know, to be a pilot, you have to be extremely intelligent. You know, you're flying a multi-million-dollar airplane for the military. Yeah, you got to be smart. Yeah, he didn't care. Like, he was more concerned about what his wife was thinking. Yeah, he felt invincible. And that was, I don't even know how he got off Michelle, but, you know, the interrogation part, it was brilliant. It was. I was watching the interrogation the other day. I mean, the way Jim broke him down, it was just, I want that guy. Yes. Yeah, where he's got the little fucking patch on his head right here. Dude, he killed 2. He killed 2, not 1, Indiana. He killed 2 women, dude. And assaulted multiple others, dude. What he was doing is he was going into women's houses and stealing panties, dude. Yep. Dude, he had like boxes full of stolen women's underwear, dude. Yep. Like, he was going in there and leaving like his love juice and stuff inside women's houses. Like, really weird shit, dude. Yeah, man. Living an extremely double life, dude. Yeah, trophies. Trophies. Yep. That's what he did. Trophies. Yeah. But he also, what he did was he videotaped the assaults on the women. Yep. He videotaped the assaults, and he videotaped one of their deaths, I believe. If you guys haven't watched the interrogation, I recommend you watch it. It's brilliant. Brilliant, man. Well, but what this guy did, man, is the interrogator. I would not want him to be my dad, dude, or anything for that matter. I just would not want that guy questioning me. I think his demeanor comes across, and then he also worked another case. There was another really brutal case that he did, and it was a murder case, but it was for a kid. And that same guy worked the case, and that case is Mike Rafferty. That's the name of the guy who did it. Him and this chick kidnapped this little girl, and then he just, yeah, I won't even say, I don't think I can say what he did to her here, but it was a very bad case. And he also was in part of this interrogation, but what this Mike Rafferty guy did to this little girl, man. Okay. Okay, cool. I'll check it out. Bitter Bad. Thank you. Yeah, that Jim guy was he's absolutely brilliant interrogator, man. And the way he did Russ, he did. And that's what needs to be done to David. If David had a lawyer like that, David wouldn't have stood a chance, man. That lawyer would have chewed him down and spit him up. If Jim was questioning you, David, Mike. Oh, the Mike Rafferty? Is that the one you're... Oh. That bitter bad bitch. He's one of my favorites. It would... KJD with Russ? Yeah, check out his channel. That chapter, okay. Yeah, it was ultimately tire tracks that busted him, and he wore the same boots to the interrogation that he fucking walked up to the house with like a dipshit. Those on the same boots that he wore to the murder scene. They're like, oh, look, we need your boots. Oh, look, you drove your truck. Yeah, we got everything right here we need. Here's all the evidence. Bam, we got the boots. We got the tire tracks. You know. I didn't watch Cleo Watts. I like that other lawyer. What was it? The one that was like, I moved to strike. He was his own lawyer in his own deposition. No, the tire tracks were legit. They had the tire tracks. The tire tracks were legit. They measured them. Yeah, bitter bad. That one? Yeah. That guy. He's all, hey, what kind of pills did you just take? He's all, that's none of your business. Yeah. And he's like, well, I have reason to believe that you're possibly taking some kind of controlled substance, and we're just going to go ahead and end this deposition now. Yeah. And everybody was like commenting on the Subway coffee cup. Everybody's all, damn, you could get coffee at Subway? That was the highlight of that deposition was this guy drinking out of the Subway cup and coffee, and that he was like drinking pills. I think somebody had even mentioned, like, damn, imagine eating Subway and drinking coffee and then having to drop a deuce after that. He's calling the questioner fat. What a prick move. Like, dude, come on, man. I know it was only 24 minutes. That's the thing. And it was like, man, I wish that one could have just been a little bit longer. Like an hour. Like if that one could have just been an hour, that one almost probably could have topped David's. Like that guy was a moron. Cleo Watts, yeah, I saw that guy. Okay, African gold mine scam. What a piece of shit, man. Oh wait, let's get back to Michelle. Michelle's the topic tonight, guys.
During that time period.
That is correct.
Okay. Did you personally prepare that document?
I did not.
Is something like that, a detailed statement, something that JMMI regularly gives to its donors?
In January of every year, yes.
They do.
It happens.
Okay. But you have no personal knowledge as to the accuracy of any statements contained in that exhibit, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Teacher.
I'm handing you what has been marked as Exhibit 12. Did you personally prepare that document?
I did not.
Okay. Do you know who did?
I don't know.
And you wouldn't be able to testify based on your own personal knowledge as to the accuracy of any statements contained therein, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Cat mom, hi.
That's 13, I think I.
This is 12. I got 10, 11 here.
Yes, she's trying to comfort herself.
I'm now handing you what's been a more efficient way you can think of doing it. I'm handing you what's been marked
I
as.
like to think of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this. Like she's holding her hands in between
Exhibit-
like her
I'm
knees
handing you
or
what's
her
been marked
legs.
as
Like, in
Exhibit
her lap.
13. Did you personally prepare that exhibit?
I did not.
Do you know who did?
I do not.
Okay. You can't testify as to the accuracy of these statements contained therein?
Correct.
Okay. You have this going? Yeah.
Yes, she is. She is a liar, cat mom, 100%.
Okay.
Michelle?
No further questions.
Just to clean
Denise,
up a little bit.
you're a liar.
Deposition exhibit number 10, the detailed statement for 2014 for Deborah Frazier. Would you agree that this is a document kept in the regular course of business through JMMI?
Correct.
Okay. And
Okay, but she just answered that same question she didn't know from the other lawyer. Now she just answered yes.
I'm going to show you exhibit number 8, 9-1 and 9-2. And we subpoenaed certain documents.
Notice the body posture changed a little bit, just barely a little bit, but she moved closer to Colleen. She scooted away from the other lawyer, and the body posture's changed just a hair, not much.
JMMI.
She's still really uncomfortable.
And do you agree that these were produced by JMMI pursuant to the subpoena?
That is correct.
Okay, and
So they produced the documents for the subpoena.
Did you ask anyone to create a document?
I did.
And who did you ask?
Ashley Ware.
And what document did you ask her to create?
Several of the documents.
And what were they?
Documents of the account. We didn't have the donors list of the top donors. It was, you asked for, I think it was like 5,000 or above.
Did you ask her to create 8-9 and 9-1-9-2?
I would have to ask Ashley if this was what she referenced in one of the things I've asked her, if this was what she, because there's no title on it. So,
Okay, for example, number 9-2, there is a caption that says Joshua Media Ministry, does it not?
there is.
And an account number,
Correct.
and that you recognize that as a bank?
Correct.
And July 1st through July 31st, 2014?
Correct.
And would you say that this, and its captions, deposits and other credits continued?
Correct.
Would you say that this is a document that's kept in the regular course of business that itemizes the activities of deposits and credits on that bank account number?
From the bank, this is not through JMMI.
Okay, but you keep this document, do you not?
We ordered this document for this subpoena.
Okay, and this is the kind of this is a bank statement or document from a bank account of JMMI's.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, I'm watching all your questions. KJD, absolutely. What was the conversation like after Michelle got out of the deposition? Could you imagine that? Like, I wonder if when David picked her up, like, what did you say? What did they ask you? Did you just do what I told you to? I always wonder what the deposition was like after David got out of his, though, too. Yeah, she's the fall guy, bitterness bad. That's why David put everything in her name. And Ashley Ware was never deposed. She was never deposed. Sounds like she's the one they need to depose now. I wonder who Ashley would pass the buck to now. Like, who would they pass the buck off to now that it's passed off to Ashley? Maybe Harold Lewis will depose Ashley now.
Do you have any reason to believe that any?
There was an order for a deposition to be taken from Harold Lewis's side. Maybe they'll fucking depose Ashley now.
Anything on this is inaccurate?
LaMarcia? Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
know.
You don't have any?
I mean, I don't know if there were inaccurate, things done to my knowledge. No.
Right. So you don't have any reason to believe. Nobody said this is not right.
She's lying big time here. Look at her hair. The hair is a big time, like, that was a key indicator for me. Like, when she was either uncomfortable, caught in a lie, or just, the hair.
Okay. And Ashley didn't tell you this was not right.
She did not.
Okay. And
The piano player.
9-1 and 8. These are documents that reference offerings, as you refer to it, for July and August of 2014.
Correct.
Okay. And in the regular course of business, does JMMI keep track of offerings from on a daily basis of what comes in?
Night day streams.
Okay. And is that what this document reflects?
I don't know if she created this
No, he wasn't bitter bad. Maybe he's going to be, though.
document for this subpoena.
Right.
So,
But
okay.
she does keep track, does she not?
She does.
And this,
But I don't know if it's in this format.
okay.
Yeah, piece.
But these were all documents that you turned over in the course of discovery.
Correct.
And you supervise Ashley Ware?
Correct.
No cap, Mom. She's the head of KOGGC now. That's the thing. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Who's the head of JMMI? It's not Michelle. It's not Michelle. But again, okay, under the IRS website, JMMI hasn't paid their taxes since 2017. So by law, they no longer exist as a nonprofit or a church, right? Which JMMI is actually not a church. It's a whole fucking the scam, you guys. It's beyond.
And you direct what she does in terms of what her job responsibilities are?
I oversee her job responsibilities.
Okay. And so you're aware that under your supervision, she creates these documents or keeps track of these documents?
On occasion, yes.
Okay. I don't have any other questions.
On occasion, yes.
The only thing is, do you still want her here tomorrow?
I have to. Wish I could say no, but you're probably my star witness. Sorry.
Well, that's fine.
This concludes the deposition. It is 4:03 p.m. We are off the record.
That's the thing. The paperwork. Okay, the paperwork is now in Michelle's name for Kingdom of God Global Church. Like, if you look up the paperwork, let me see if I got it here. Hang on. Stand by. Let's see what I got here. One of the documents I have here shows that everything is now in Michelle's name. Kingdom of God Global Church. Okay, what they have here, this was back in, when was this signed? See, but then again, I still got this paperwork that was, they were filing for something here. Registered office 2008 Victory Way Lane, but we know nobody, I know for a fact that nobody lives there. Michelle's salary, that's a good question, whether she gets one or not. Like, what, that'd be a good question for the IRS to ask her. Hey, Michelle, what's your salary? Where's all your W-2s? Where's your 1040s? Where's all your pay stubs? What are you getting paid here? There's got to be some, I don't know. I don't know how the nonprofit works like that. That's still what I'm trying to figure out. I think me and Bitter Bad were talking about that last night. We got to figure that out. But not anymore. In Michelle's deposition, she said she's not paid anymore. Remember? She said, I stopped taking a salary and I went volunteer in 2014. Yes, absolutely right. Yeah. Earlier on in the deposition. In the first video. Let's see here. Where's part one?
My little motto is I planted so many bad seeds, so it's time to plant some good seeds and watch the harvest.
She said she didn't get paid anymore.
Number 2014, ending in 2449. Greg, is that what you're looking at? Oh, that's right. So do we have 2449?
Those are the.
Can she crawl out from under the bus? I feel like season 6 of Better Call Saul was just released. Damn, Ashley. You got slung under the bus. Anyways, I need to sleep.
This one, I believe, is the one that's coming with. There were 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the ones that's coming with Mr. Potts in the box.
All right, number 4, JMMI documents.
They're asking for documents here.
And Mr. Taylor testified that you also oversee his personal finances.
That is correct.
And where do you reside?
I currently live at the Trail Oaks as well.
Oh, you do also? I thought I asked if anybody else did, and I was told no.
Separate from me.
Oh, you just didn't include yourself?
Well, there's a civil war trend on Twitter now after Iowa Trump rally attendees remark go viral. Great.
As of February 1st.
Something else we got to fucking worry about in our
2015?
country. Fucking civil war.
Correct.
Was that
Nice.
sort of a trade-off for the lack of compensation?
No, I voluntarily went there until my apartment's ready.
Oh, all right, so you plan to move somewhere else?
I am,
And when would that be?
as soon as my apartment's ready.
Ballpark.
Right now, they're looking for an April 1st date for my apartment to be ready.
Okay. And how did you meet Deborah Frazier?
She attended one of the services
Where?
Yeah.
in Taylor, Michigan.
And do you typically attend those also?
On occasion, not all the time, no.
She's a liar.
And do you have any idea how Deborah Frazier became acquainted with the Taylor facility or JMMI in general?
I believe she's through a relative or.
This is true right here. I'll be right back. But that's true because her cousin actually their family introduced them. Yeah, they both downplay their interaction, but it was for real. Michelle and David met Debbie through, I want to say, Bill Hody. These are the best fucking gummy bears ever, too. They're cold, too. They are good.
Did you ever request a contribution or donation from Deborah Frazier?
I never did.
But she mentioned the legal fees in front of Debbie Frazier to him. Remember, we just watched Say and Michelle that she said that she had implied to Debbie Frazier that she was frustrated at all the legal fees and all the court stuff they had to bring up. Michelle saying here, I never said anything about money or legal fees to Debbie.
Did she talk to you about contributions and donations?
I mean, no, she really never did.
She never talked to you about them?
I mean,
Michelle
just
did,
didn't
though.
talk about donations. Talked about her children, her life.
And what did she say about her children and their life?
How much she loves them as of recently, how, you know.
It's just something Cat Mom, let me stop for a second. You guys know I don't get political on my channel. The Civil War is the dumbest fucking thing this country could do. Like, come on, people, think. Really? That is, I had a client ask me that, like, just brought up Civil War one time in passing. And I stopped her right there. I was like, so you would go to war, you would shoot your neighbor. I had to put it to him like that. I was like, you would kill your neighbor. You would kill your cousin. You would kill your brother. You would kill your family member over this political agenda that's going on in our country right now. And she's like, well, no. I was like, well, that's what a civil war is. I was like, you're going to go to war with your own countrymen? Why would you want to do something like that? You know, I don't know. I think it's all propaganda though, for real. You know, people, it's far-fetched, man. But you know, it won't happen. It won't happen. It's just, yeah.
It's hurting her not to be able to.
Dumbest thing anybody can say. Stupid.
Did she tell you that she has supervised parenting time?
She did mention it.
Yeah, united, not divided. Cat mom, that's the thing. What happened overall is people stopped giving a shit about each other. That's what happened, man. People stopped giving a shit about we, right? We the people, right? Because we the people, in order to form a better union, more perfect union. Now it's all about I. It's no longer we the people. It's all about me, I. Nobody's concerned. Yep. It's no more we the people. No more we the people. And it sucks. And I think that's something I kind of try to say. I try to tell people here, like, hey, it's us, it's we, you know. It's us together here as a group. And we're all focused on the common cause of this one, this one evil that we see in the world. And we're not talking about it and like, I want to do this. We're talking about as we want to do this, and it's way better than saying I and me. We're focusing on the greater good. That's what needs to be done ultimately, is the greater good. People need to start doing things for the greater good and no longer for personal enrichment. I get personal enrichment from helping people. I live in a small community, and I want our community to get better, so it's better to get the people involved. Kids still reciting.
Are you aware that there are contempt proceedings pending tomorrow?
I've heard, yes.
And how did you hear?
Through Debbie.
And what did she tell you?
That they're working.
Bitterness bad, yeah. If more people adopted the unity of things instead of the division, to divide things, dude, our country could accomplish anything. Anything. And you're right, nobody's ready for that conversation, man. Everybody's still got their own hidden agenda. And it sucks. It sucks because our country is literally falling apart in front of us. And what are we to do about it, Put a little bit of it back together. And eat gummy bears in the process. Yeah, unity is much better. Yes, they're united in destroying people. That's the shitty thing about it. Bitterness bad is you're 100%. Then there's David-like people who are actively united with other destructive organizations destroying people instead of helping. David, dude, pull your head out of your ass, David, okay? And really help people, dude. David, you legit could have a good thing going, man. David, you could for real have a good thing going. You for real could be doing a lot of outreach programs. You really could, man. You really could. You really could, but you blew it, dude. You had your chance. You had your chance. You didn't kind of blow it. You did blow it, dude. You blew it big time, man. And then here we go. We have Michelle,
to court.
the concubine,
Filed against her.
lying under oath.
What?
She didn't stay.
She didn't tell you why?
We didn't get into it. I asked not to be involved.
Bullshit,
You told
Michelle.
me you didn't want to know.
Actively involved in destroying people's lives.
In the year 2015, have you ever talked to Debbie about any of her donations?
No.
Did Debbie ever tell you that Jesus appeared to her and told her to give money to JMMI?
No.
Has Mrs. Frazier shared with you any of her visions or dreams that she has experienced about the Lord or God or Jesus?
She's shared with me a dream or two.
What were they?
I honestly don't remember.
You don't have any recall at all?
No, I don't remember her dreams. I get so many people who tell me their dreams. I honestly don't remember.
A lot of people come up and tell you about their dreams.
Well, we have a lot of people who will call in and they ask for prayer, and we're ministry, so people have dreams and they're impacted by them. They do call in quite often for them. Yes, absolutely.
Including this weekend?
Oh, to be honest with you, yeah, we've had probably about 5 people over the course of this past week that have called in for their dreams.
Oh, that's a whole shitload of people, Michelle.
And what can JAMA might help them with in terms of their dreams?
I did too.
Well,
I called this for a lot of
ministry,
prayer.
and it's my religious belief, as I know it is others, that we believe that Jesus does, our people do come to, the Lord does come to you and speak to you in dreams.
Frank
in
Richardson?
dreams where he talked about, he appeared to Solomon that night in a dream and a vision by night. And so I definitely believe that. And they come and they
Frank
talk
Richardson
to,
and Lisa Lampanelli.
or they believe
Beep,
they have
beep.
dreams.
That's my favorite sound is when the truck
They
backs up.
have
Beep,
people
beep.
this week specifically said that they had a dream that one person had a dream that their car was being stolen, and 2 days later their car was stolen.
Okay, can you give me a time frame, just generally, of when Deborah talked about her dreams?
I absolutely could not possibly tell you that. I do recall we've talked about it, or she's mentioned she's had dreams, but I don't remember when.
She talked to you about meeting Ben Franklin in heaven?
No.
Okay. Has she talked to you about her kids being seers?
Seers?
Right.
No.
God, she's so uncomfortable here. I love watching her sitting in the chair.
Did she think she can predict the future?
No.
Like the hair in the eyes
Who
is
else
big for me. Like that's
would Deborah have
the
potential?
first time I watched the Deposition. That was the biggest one for me, was the hair. That was huge. That was the biggest key sign of her being uncomfortable in the Deposition. Hide the hair, man.
They talked to about her dreams within the JAMA My Ministry.
Jane Object Form Foundation.
You can go ahead.
Very,
Pardon me?
very vague. You go ahead and answer the question if you can.
Quit fucking smirking, Michelle. Denise.
I couldn't tell you. I have no idea who she would have told.
Liar.
Do you have any knowledge if she and Mr. Taylor spoke about them?
I would guess not.
Why would you guess not?
Because Mr. Taylor, he just doesn't give himself, he doesn't have that time.
Oh, I bet he gives his time to you though, concubine Michelle, doesn't he? Anytime he wants that, huh? I bet you give it up to him real quick, huh?
To my knowledge, they don't speak like that.
Liar.
Did Mrs. Frazier ever tell you that she has seen Jesus face to face?
She has not.
Liar.
That's one of the tenets of JMMI's ministry, is it not?
That is correct.
Have
He
you seen
did. He did the
Jesus
same
face to
thing.
face?
In a dream, yes.
But in a dream, not
In a dream.
in the corporal sense of being in here.
No.
So you consider in a dream to be also face to face?
Absolutely.
Is it once?
Fuck out
I've
here,
had
Michelle.
several
You're so
dreams
full
of
of
them.
it, man.
Several of
Of the Lord coming to me in a dream. Would you like me to tell them to you?
no, I just want you to know.
That's my favorite part of this whole thing, because she's all, would you like me to tell them to you? It's like, once again, here they are trying to sell their cult organization in a fucking legal deposition. In a legal deposition, Michelle. You're here trying to sell your organization to the lawyers. Oh, would you like me to tell you the dreams I had about Jesus? Same thing David did. I'd love to tell you about the dreams Jesus had. Yep.
It's
She pulled that shit. Same thing. I bet David told her to tell her that. David, did you tell Denise to tell the lawyer that? David is like, yeah, please let me answer that. Michelle's like, please let me answer that too.
God the Father, God the Son, the Holy Spirit. Who
I've had dreams of Jesus coming to me. I've had dreams where I've audibly heard the Father talk to me in a dream. I've never seen him.
Has Mr. Taylor ever told you about his face-to-face meetings with the Lord?
Whatever conversation that Mr. Taylor and I have, he's my spiritual father.
He's my spiritual father, and I'm going to take the pen of privilege, and I can't say anything about that.
He's my pastor.
He's my
and I believe
pastor.
that would be protected under.
He's my pastor,
But Michelle, he ain't a pastor, okay? He is not a real pastor. Michelle, get that through your head, okay? David is not a real pastor. Yeah, she's confusing the father with Daddy David, okay? Michelle, you're not. David never has been and never will be a prophet or an apostle, okay? So if I had a with Jesus, I remember every time spiritual father sounds perverted, he's a pimp. Yes, bitter pat. Dude.
Dependent.
I'm asking about him telling you, not you telling him.
Again,
Things he has disclosed to you
Whatever.
about having seen.
Again, whatever we've discussed personally has been, if I've talked to him about it or he's relating it.
I'm not asking.
Michelle feels real high and mighty here because she gets to tell the lawyer off basically, and the lawyer really shouldn't be asking any conversations between her and David, which Michelle's right, but this makes Michelle feel high and mighty right here. Yeah, for her to sit here and say, "Oh, well, that's between me and the pastor," and that's a pen and privilege. You can't ask me that bullshit. Michelle, shut your fucking mouth. The lawyer's there to object, not you. Okay, for you to do that, like that was just showing that you're also a narcissist too, that you fall right in line with David.
What you've discussed. I'm just asking what he has said to you, not what you said to him.
Counsel, I'm going to object to the question because she's absolutely right. If there is a conversation in which the pastor
Thank you
Taylor
for
talks
objecting,
to her
finally.
in conjunction with a give and take, those are privileged communication.
Yeah, the nerve.
His
It's
Mrs.
also, by the way, it's also irrelevant and immaterial what their conversations between Pastor Taylor.
Irrelevant, immaterial.
I don't agree with you, but I'm going to move on.
Okay.
Where does Mrs. Frazier stay when she comes to St. Louis?
I'm trying to fill in all the blank spots that people have missed too with the information if we can.
She has stayed at, mentioned she has stayed at a, what do you call it? It's not.
Now that David took all of her money, at this point, like David was putting Debbie Frazier up in extended stay motels like Red Roof's Inn and shit, and like there's probably some ghetto hood like Red Roof Inn places in Taylor, man. I've looked around the place where he was putting Debbie up, and it's pretty ghetto, man.
A hotel per se, like an in-home suite type thing, in-town suite or something like that.
Say that again.
She stayed at like an where there's long-term stay.
Okay. Executive suites or something.
Something like that.
Okay.
I don't know the exact name, and she's also stayed at the Trail Oaks on occasion.
When she
I have that
is
address.
working
Thanks
for
to Lord
the
Pender.
ministry in some capacity, when she's in St. Louis, where would that be?
She would work at the 5209 Trail Oaks.
That address is very relevant. I still haven't figured out.
You talked a little bit about what she does when she's
His
at
name is
the
in.
Offices in Missouri. You said she answers the phone.
She does.
And what else?
That's true. I spoke to Debbie probably about 3 months ago, a few months ago. She actually called me out by name too. She knows my name, which was kind of cool. I thought it was pretty awesome. No bitterness, bad. Trail Oaks Drive is just another house that's tied to the ministry. It's somebody's house. I think it could be La Marcia's. I'm not sure. I don't know. Man, it's another place that they're staying. And it's a no-tell motel. Yes, that's what you're talking about, Cat Mom.
She's
Extended
mailed
stays.
letters, done mailings, stuffed envelopes.
Cat Mom, yes,
Clerical.
she's still there with David E. Taylor.
Anything of a religious nature?
I know that she's prayed for people, as I stated earlier.
She is still there helping people scam money.
Would that be somebody that has called in?
Correct.
Okay.
She is helping the scam now. She is a complicit actor.
So what would you say the property at 5209 Trail Oaks in Blackjack, Missouri, what is that primarily used for?
We have people who live there that I stated before, and we do business from that area out of it.
Do they pay rent?
Yes.
Listen real close, guys.
Are there people that come and go from that? Because it's a residence, isn't it?
It's a residence, but there are people that come and will help out, and volunteers come out and do millings, or if we have big millings or whatever, they'll come out.
So people would come and go to that address?
Mm-hmm.
You don't?
Yes.
Yes.
You don't have any problem with the neighborhood objecting to a business being run out of it there?
Well, it's a ministry being run out of it. It's not a business.
It's a business, Michelle.
But it's still not zoned for that.
I've actually, earlier on when I was doing a lot of phone calls to this place, they did say over the phone that stop calling this is a business. So they did it was a business to me.
Form foundation qualification. Go ahead and answer the question if you can.
I wouldn't know.
But is anybody complaining about it?
I wouldn't know.
Okay, who do you think would know?
I wouldn't know. I'm not sure.
Okay. And I asked you this before, you don't have any name that you refer to 5209?
It's JMMI. I mean, we call it JMMI. It's a place we do business.
Okay.
Ministry House.
Ministry House, is that what you call it?
It's been called JMMI. Typically is what I reference at JMMI.
Bitter bad? Yes, Debbie is super drunk on the Kool-Aid, 100%. Her daughter, I believe, is also still there, drunk on the Kool-Aid as well. But as far as I know, Katie Frazier doesn't have any kind of social media presence. Yes, I have. They told me on the phone that it was a business, man. And earlier on when I spoke to people, this is when I wasn't recording the calls, I had a lady on the phone tell me that she was personally healed of schizophrenia by David. No lie, guys. I have no reason to lie about that. This lady said, I was personally healed of schizophrenia. I'm like, yeah, I don't think so.
But I've heard others call it Ministry House.
And then the other one is the residential
Center.
And that's where Mr. Taylor lives?
Mr. Taylor does not live there.
Who lives there?
Nobody lives there.
It's vacant most of the time?
It is vacant most of the time.
Yeah, he can't even spell it.
I'm going to show you the lease for this is the lease for that you provided for 5209 Trail Oaks Drive in Blackjack.
It's in Missouri. Blackjack,
Yeah.
Missouri.
I'm going to ask you who.
Okay, remember how we were talking about how he's got a lot of houses? Well, these are a lot of the houses they're naming off. Okay, the Trail Oaks Drive. There's another list of houses here too that are listed all through this fucking ministry, man.
Let's see what we mark that.
Seven.
I'm going to ask you to identify this.
This is exhibit number 7, and it's a residential lease.
This is the broken lease they have with Harold Lewis, okay?
5209 Trail Oaks Drive,
Never mind, I'm sorry.
Blackjack, Missouri 63033.
And who signed it?
It looks Bashira.
Bashira Hoke.
Goodness, whose handwriting is that? Bashira's and myself, and I'm not sure, Angel.
Yep, okay. Okay, so these three are on that lease together, okay? So again, David's name is not on any of this information. Their breach of contract already with the residential centers going on, okay? Yes, listen closely here, Bitter Bad. He's charging people rent, but the people that live there are fucking volunteers. He doesn't pay them. So he's charged. It's weird how this scam is working. It's almost like he's paying the mortgage on the house, but like paying the mortgage back to himself. It's weird, like the way this scam is running. He's laundering money through real estate. I'm trying to figure that out, man.
Read their handwriting. So I don't know.
You don't know who would have signed this?
I don't know their signature or handwriting. It's not familiar to me, but I know Bashir signed it.
But yes, he's charging people rent that he doesn't pay.
Marcy
These people don't work. They don't have a job. They
So
fucking.
the three of you signed a lease?
Well, Angel. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it would have been myself, Marcia, and Bashira.
Is that Angel's?
No, she's not the landlord. It's that Akia Ku or whatever his name is.
100% Bitter Bad.
Gale or something.
Okay, and this lease expired in July of 2014.
I have an idea, Bitter Bad.
Okay.
Have you renewed it?
We are month to month, so I haven't received a renewal.
Who pays the rent?
Jim and my issues the rent, but the staff all come together, those, and Bashira and Angel and Marcia, and I help as well, and we all help pay that.
Is that through donations?
No, everybody has their own type of income.
So when you say you all come together, but JMMI pays it, how does that happen?
We give the money to Ashley to make the deposit.
Okay, this is where shit gets really weird, right? Are you guys like tracking on to what she's saying? I mean, what you're saying here, Denise, just makes absolutely no fucking sense. Okay, these people are volunteers, but they have their own source of income to pay rent when you guys aren't paying them. These guys are full-time staff members, full-time volunteers. It sounds like a fucking forced labor organization. It really is. That's ultimately what you guys are doing, Denise and David. You guys are running a forced labor organization, a forced labor money laundering organization. It's what it sounds like. Because Michelle, you can't even get your words straight here, girl. Like, dude, you're going to go to court with this? Michelle, we're filing fraud reports against you, okay? You know that, right?
Into what account?
Into our main account, I believe.
What are the four numbers?
I believe it's 2449.
Okay, so they have bank accounts. Why hasn't there been any kind of financial audit or anything like that? You know? Sounds well dodgy and convoluted. Yeah. When you sit here and talk, and like when you put the two depositions together, guys, now think of everything David said in the deposition about asking Michelle. Well, here we are fucking asking her, and no one seems to know who does the accounting. Yeah. And this is why the government needs to get involved in organizations like this, because, well, where's the money going? You know, there's huge money laundering laws in place to prevent things like terrorism, drugs, sex trafficking, human trafficking, all kinds of things to prevent situations like that. And this is what I don't get. Like, if I was doing something, if I scam the IRS for my business, man, dude, they will knock on my door and they will come in and audit everything I have. But here we are, guys. This is the thing our government needs to pay attention to. You know, put these two depositions together, government officials who may ever watch this. Put these two depositions together. You guys need to look into these guys, and anybody else who's running some kind of scam ministry like this. You probably should look into them a little bit closer than you are, okay? Because if you look into the people who are actually committing the crimes, and you actually serve the right justice, you know.
So now you're month to month?
We are.
And who is, so I'm going to butcher this name, Aguio Gale?
The landlord.
Do you know who he is?
I mean, I've met him.
Do you have a relationship with him, business or otherwise?
I do not personally.
Does JMMI have an office in St. Louis?
Yes. Good or bad, they're bringing in millions. So David claims, they're bringing in millions is what he says. Where's that money going, David? You have to report that. We get you're a nonprofit, dude, but you still have to report it, dude. You can't not bring in all this money and not report it, David. It's against the law. You understand that, right? You know what money laundering is, yes? Because you're doing it, dude. By not reporting it, putting it in real estate, buying all this shit, wiring a legal case, David, like your scam is so complex, man. It makes sense why the government probably doesn't want to touch it because of how long it will take to peel apart. But David, we've done that, dude. We've peeled your scam apart for the government, man.
In the city itself.
All we need now is for witnesses. All we need now is for witnesses to come forward from this organization to basically to seal the deal. Without witnesses, nothing can be done about this. And we know there's witnesses out there. If there's witnesses that have been from this organization and you're ready to come forward and talk, my email is listed in my channel description. Get with me, and I will pass you off the phone numbers that I have to the people that are ready to listen to you. Okay? I'm not bullshitting that either.
Any offices in Missouri?
Well, other than the ministry center or the JMMI,
That would be the only one.
that would be the only one.
Okay, I'm going to show you Exhibit 7 and ask you to read that name.
Adrienne Linton.
And who is that?
She used to live there. She no longer does. Was a volunteer staff member.
How's volunteer paying rent when they don't get paid? Question? Big question, right?
Is she still a volunteer?
She is.
What was your salary with JMMI?
Here we go. Talking salaries now.
70,000
$70,000
Per year.
per year.
And when did you start receiving that?
April of 2013, I believe.
And then it stopped January 2015?
Correct.
You have a book.
It's okay. Stop January 2015, the date right here. What are we? March 12th, 2015. When was David's deposition? In November. So they stopped Michelle's salary prior to this deposition so she could go in there and say, hey, I don't take any more salary anymore. But what David's doing is probably buying her a nice car, shit like that, throwing money at her, buying her nice gifts, keeping her happy. Because once Michelle's not kept happy with money anymore, because Michelle's technically a gold digger. That's what she's there for, is the money. Just like Vicky was. So keep that in mind.
Keeper that you identified as
Yep.
Ashley Ware.
Yeah, funny. He claims his was 24,000 and Michelle's was 70,000. The fuck?
Correct.
Is there any other bookkeeper?
No.
Do you supervise Ashley?
I oversee Ashley, yes.
You primarily supervise everybody there, don't you?
Correct.
Okay. Who are the check signers?
La Marcia McDonald. Pastor Taylor's also a check signer, but he rarely signs checks.
And who else?
Okay, I'm going to talk about that real quick. Why doesn't David sign checks? I'll be right back. I'm going to get T. Put your responses in below. Why doesn't he sign the checks? Yep. Tax purposes can deny it. Don't want that.
Don't sign checks?
No, don't.
La Marcia is the only person that check signing authority.
That is correct.
Okay. Who is authorized to make charges to JMMI debit or credit?
That would be Marcia, Pastor Taylor, myself.
Yeah, I should have known, David, right? When he said, but the thing is
Joseph Bush.
Who's Joseph Bush?
think about that. Do you think David told Michelle what he said in the deposition, or do you think he just walked out of the deposition and tell Michelle shit? That's what I'm curious about. Makes me wonder if David just didn't tell her shit. I just walked out of it. I could see Michelle. Hey, David, how did the deposition go? Oh, it went pretty well, Michelle. What if he didn't, though? What if Michelle went in there totally unaware? I could see David pulling some shit like that on her. Couldn't you, David Verplank? I could see David pulling that shit on her, being like, I just didn't say shit, man. Didn't tell him anything, Michelle. Then Michelle goes in this deposition and gets hit with it. Well, why did David refer to you over everything, pretty much?
He's a pastor.
Let's continue the video, my friend.
For JMNY.
Where does he reside?
He resides in Taylor, Michigan.
Very real.
Pastor of which church?
Well, he's a pastor under Apostle Taylor.
He's a pastor in your Apostle
For
Taylor.
JMMI and or for what's the church that operates out of the Taylor building?
KFC, Kingdom Family.
Right. Is he a pastor
He
there?
is a pastor there, but what I'm referencing is the pastor under Joshua Media Ministries. That's
Okay.
what I'm
So
doing.
he can use credit cards and debit cards?
For Joshua Media Ministry, he can use the debit card. We don't have a credit card.
That's what I'm bitter bad. That's what I've been trying to think too, like over the last year or so. Did he coach her, or did he just not tell her anything? You know, I think he probably told her to say, pass the buck off to Ashley. You know, but I wonder if he told her what he did to her.
Who else?
Angel Jones.
He's a carnival baker, a carnival marker.
And that's pretty much it.
Does Deborah Frazier have one?
She does not.
And who monitors the debits taken from the account?
That's monitored through Ashley and myself.
I wonder if she has watched it though.
Are there any
I'll bet she
restrictions or
hasn't, man.
guidelines as to what charges people or debits people can use?
We do have restrictions in place now. Yes.
Okay, listen.
When did you start those?
Right here.
We've always had restrictions as to what people can do and what they could charge. But we've become even stricter with our guidelines recently.
And when is recently?
Recent as 2 weeks ago.
This was my fucking favorite part. Recent is 2 weeks ago, bitch. All right. Hold on here. Okay. So after all the fucking scamming and shit you guys do, all of a sudden, you guys, right, Chris? Right? Are you with me there, dude? As recent as 2 weeks ago, Michelle, dumbest fucking answer, man.
Yes, now, yes.
When did you start those?
We've always had restrictions as to what people can do what they could charge. But we've become even stricter with our guidelines recently.
And when is recently?
Recent as 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so 2 weeks ago on this would have been the end of February. So like February 22nd or some shit. This was March 12th, so go back. It would have been like February 26th. So February 26th, what was it? David was deposed in November and January, right? Yeah, you can message her on Facebook, man. She'll tell you you're she'll cuss you out and block you. You can contact her on Facebook, man. She's not very nice. Yeah, for sure, Legend. There's the YouTube accounts, definitely. He's got content blockers on them, no doubt.
What were they before?
They would submit a request that they need to pay for something or they need something and had to have a business reason.
And they would submit a paper request?
No, it would depend. Sometimes they would call in.
So if they were going to Popeye's Chicken, would they call in and ask for
They
permission?
could call in if they were meeting
Popeye's
with a
Chicken.
pastor, another pastor, or whatever the case may be. Say, I'm going to be meeting with this pastor. I need to, to go. And we're having lunch, and this is what where we're going. We would say yes. It's, we have the money in the account. Go ahead and do that.
So each and every time somebody accessed the account with a debit card,
That is correct.
they asked for permission.
Yes.
And what are the restrictions now that are different?
Well, the restrictions now are based on the guidelines that our tax attorney had put in place.
Do all these people still have debit cards?
They do not.
Oh,
They never did. They had access to use the debit card, but they didn't have an individual debit card to use. We had a Joshua Media Ministry debit card.
one?
Well, we had one up here and then one down there, and Pastor Taylor had one, so 3.
So if somebody wanted to
David's always going to need one because he's always hungry.
use it to buy food, they would have to physically go get the card from someone?
Which is why I said we have a card up here in Northeast, which Joseph Bush, Pastor Bush, has access to. And then the people down in St. Louis, which is myself, Angel, and then Pastor Taylor, obviously, because he travels.
So who carries the card from St. Louis?
We keep it in a general location there in a lockbox in St. Louis.
At the Trail Oaks?
At the Trail Oaks.
Has there been discussion about
I wish.
JMMI giving Deborah Frazier a debit card?
No,
Why not?
she would have no reason to have one.
So they take all this money from Debbie, but they don't give her a fucking debit card for the ministry. Oh, she just gave us millions of dollars, but she doesn't need a debit card. She just gave us all this money. Yeah, I mean, Michelle, can you be much more of just a sack of shit like David? Really? Chris I would love to hear what she has to say. Makes me wonder what the court reporter, what the court clerk said, all that shit. It makes me wonder what those people said walking out of that fucking deposition. It's ours now, biatch. Yeah, that's right, Chris. Yeah, why would she need a debit card? She gave us her money. It's ours now. She can't have any money or her own money back.
Okay.
It's 1.7
Mr.
million.
Taylor testified at his deposition that you told him that Deborah Frazier had helped with the attorney fees for JMMI.
Objection, form, foundation, also an improper method of cross-examining. But you can go ahead and answer the question if you can.
I honestly wouldn't know. I don't know what was discussed at the previous deposition.
She's lying.
Well, I'm telling you that
She knows exactly what the hell was discussed at the previous deposition. Don't lie, Michelle, okay? You're under oath, man. You might, to you, Michelle, that might not mean anything to you, okay? But to us, it means something because You're under oath, man. You're under oath in a court of law. You might as well have been sitting in the fucking court because you took an oath, Michelle, to tell the truth, and you're saying you don't know what was said in the deposition. You're a fucking liar.
Pastor Taylor testified that you advised him that Deborah Frazier had assisted with the attorney fees for JMMI. So I'm asking you to explain that, what she assisted with, and how that occurred.
I honestly
Same
don't.
objection. Go ahead, answer the question.
I honestly don't recall.
You don't recall
I
that?
don't recall that.
You talking about the conversation?
No, I mean, I don't recall what he was referring to.
Okay, did you have a conversation with Deborah Frazier about the attorney fees?
Not that I recall. No.
Fucking liar, because right at the end she said, yeah, she did. She did, Michelle. You're here. Okay, in the last part of the deposition, they talk about the conversation they had. Here she says she didn't. Okay, Michelle, fucking perjury, man. You lied under oath right here. And we caught you, dude. How can this not be punished, man? This is what I don't get. Right, but she's lied under oath right here, man. She lied under oath about conversations she had with Debbie Frazier.
Page 240. I'm going to read this into the record.
I have the same opinion as David. You're literally repeating his answers verbatim.
At page 238 from the deposition of February 10th, I'm inquiring of Mr. Taylor as to whether Deborah Frazier paid his attorney fees. And Mr. Taylor responds, yes, I found out. Question, yes, you found out that in the amount of $7,500? Answer, I don't know if
Yeah, Chris.
exactly how much it was.
Doesn't happen.
Question, well, there's August 2014, there was a $7,500 deposit. And then in September of, actually I have, sorry about my eyes, I couldn't read. But then I corrected and saying the same day, there were income $7,500 and out goes $7,500. Frazier versus Frazier retainer fee for Hertz-Schramm. So is it your understanding, and this is JMMI's documents, that Deborah Frazier gave the $7,500 on your behalf? Answer, not that I know of, no. Question, well, what did you find out later? Answer, I found out that she paid for some legal fees for me to have an attorney so that all the details I know, yes. Would the question, would that be the Hertz-Schramm people or some other lawsuit? Answer, I don't know, I'm not sure. Question, well, is there some other lawsuit that you're involved in? Answer, no, not that I know of, no. Question, so is it your understanding that Deborah Frazier paid your legal fees to Hertz-Schramm as invoiced in and out of JMMI? Answer, I understand, I don't know who it was given to. I just heard that it happened, so you probably want to ask Michelle that. Question, when did you hear this? Answer, I can't remember. I don't know exactly. Question, who did you hear it from? Answer, Michelle shared it with me. Question, so Michelle told you that Deborah Frazier paid your legal fees? Answer, yes. So can you tell me about that exchange you had with Mr. Taylor regarding Deborah Frazier paying your attorney fees?
God, she's such a horrible liar.
I honestly do not remember Deborah Frazier saying that she was going to pay or that she paid the attorney fees. I do recall the conversation that Pastor Taylor's referring to in terms of him saying, you know, we need to pay these attorney fees. We need to get these attorney fees paid for. But I do not recall.
They're all lying.
You don't recall what?
I don't recall Deborah Frazier paying our attorney fees.
They knew where the legal fees were coming from.
Making,
Fuck out of here, Michelle. You knew exactly where the fees were coming from.
on or around the time that you had to pay your attorney fees?
And as shitty as the fact that, Yeah, everyone in this whole, yeah, Rick Frazier's a liar too.
No, I do recall a conversation that
Overall, Rick is a good dad, but he's a liar. He's a scam artist too. He
I had with Deborah Frazier
Go and get it
and
out.
speaking with her about the attorney fees from her Shram. And in my frustration, I had mentioned that to her. You know, she had asked, did you get the attorney? Because she had also wanted to get an attorney or got an attorney from her Shram. I can't remember his name. Anyway, she said, I told her I was frustrated. I said, this doesn't even have anything to do with us. You know, they're asking for attorney fees. But
I just got a comment.
she never told me, okay,
David's
I'm
the
gonna
best
go
definition of a
take care your
demonic
attorney
person.
fees.
Yes, the fuck he is. Absolutely, 100%.
And I did discuss that with Pastor Taylor.
That she had paid some attorney.
No, I discussed with him that I had talked to Deborah about our attorney fees, and that I was frustrated about that we had to pay the attorney fees.
All right, his testimony is that you told him that she was contributing in some manner to the payment of attorney
If he
fees.
said that, then that's the truth. If he said that, then he's absolutely correct. I just don't recall. I don't remember.
Fucking liar.
All right, so do you believe then, based on what I just read to you, that Deborah Frazier in some way contributed to the payment of the attorney fees for her Shram?
If I discussed it with Pastor Taylor and he said that I said that to him, yes. But the $7,500 that you guys are referring to in that, I do not know where that came from.
Nah, she's
No.
lying.
Okay, but you do acknowledge that Deborra Frazier in some manner contributed to the payment of attorney
What
fees?
I acknowledge is that if Pastor
she
Taylor
did.
said that happened, that conversation happened.
With you and
That is with he and I. And if he said that I told him that the attorney fees, that Deborah was contributing in some way to the attorney fees, if he said that, then that conversation did happen.
and would you be lying to Mr. Taylor at that point?
I don't lie.
Okay, so
Michelle, let's get one thing straight. You're a huge liar. You're lying right now. You just told the biggest lie in your life that you're not a liar. Biggest lie right there. That you're not a liar. David lied in his deposition and you're lying in your deposition. You know how we know? Because we know you're both liars, okay?
you're saying you don't recall that conversation?
I do not recall the specifics of that conversation. I do recall being upset about getting a bill or having to pay $7,500 as a third-party witness to issue a subpoena ducis tecum and supply all these documentation for a party that we're not directly involved in. Yes.
So this was an off.
Michelle, how you guys got involved was by taking the money from Debbie out of a divorce settlement. Good. Barbie. Fucker. Come out and call me sweetie. Biggest lie you ever told.
Deborah Frazier's problems that resulted in you having to hire an attorney.
Correct.
Okay. And so if Mr. Taylor says
that like Barbie?
the two of you had that conversation that you represented Deborah Frazier paid some of your attorney fees, you're saying that would have been a truthful statement?
Absolutely. If he said it, that's true.
Okay. But you're saying you don't have any recollection of how that occurred?
I do not know.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to,
8.
no, you were 9. Only 9?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Cement sticks, yeah. Yeah, they passed the buck around. That's a huge lie. Legend lives. If he said it, that's true. That's a lie. It's a huge lie. I'm trying to point out like the body language cues and shit because there's a lot of micro cues and shit we were talking about earlier. Good or bad? I agree with you 100%. 100%. Why can't they do it that way? Hey, why don't we just go ahead and put all these people in the same room at the same time and depose them all at the same time? I'm going to get a whiteboard and put it up back in. We're going to build a hierarchy board of this organization. And we're going to figure this out. We're going to get to the bottom of it and find out who should be deposed. Pretty sure Harold Lewis is about to pay to depose somebody here.
We took it back. The document.
Harold Lewis has filed for a motion for deposition on the organization's head member, whoever it is at this time.
Brought about the 7,500.
Yeah, the thing is, Cement Sticks, he can't open his mouth right now because we already know the story. But to see, we'll build the hierarchy, man. We'll build the hierarchy together, dude. I have it all up. It's all up here, dude. It really is. If I bet once everybody sees it, everybody's gonna be like, "Holy fucking shit! Look at the complexity of the scam." Right? And we'll put it all out in numbers and shit like that. We'll bring up I'll put the numbers up on the board so we can see how much money David has brought into this organization, where he stopped filing the taxes. Just let me get the whiteboard. I want to get one for my office anyway. So I'll get one that I could put up like right back here on the wall. That way everybody could see it. Yeah, we could I'll jump on a Zoom call one day instead, do something like that. Yeah, it's definitely doable to where, we could build the whole hierarchy of this organization. It shouldn't be much anymore, but just within itself, there's probably going to be about 20 to 20, it's not that many. It's not going to be that many, but.
Did we? No, did it get, yes.
We'll do dates, timelines, all that shit. We'll lay it all out.
I am going to ask you to identify exhibit number 8.
Show it to me, too.
That's JMMI ledger sheets.
Correct.
Provided by JMMI to Mr. Frazier's counsel pursuant to discovery requests.
Yes, that exhibit number 8 looks like it is a general ledger.
Like, I want to put pictures up and everything of all the members.
To
that way it's like you can see the hierarchy, who it is.
Read the annotation for August 27th, 2014.
It says source not disclosed yet.
The whole line.
8/27/2014. Source not disclosed yet. Amount $7,500, and then the balance.
The balance in that account.
Correct.
Okay, and then
I wish I had those bank accounts. That way, I wish I could get those B of A records, so I could do the forensic audit on the accounts myself to peel apart all the shit they've been spending money on. That would be golden information.
These are copies.
I don't know if I can FOIA those records or not. I'm not sure.
Then another arrow for August 27th, 2014. If you can
That
read
stack of B of A records is
that
like
line
this. It's
across.
huge. It's ridiculously huge.
It says 8/27/2014. Shram check 6096 maybe. Retainer fee for Frazier versus Frazier, negative $7,500.
Okay.
And legal
Now-
fees.
Who would have physically prepared this document?
Ashley Ware.
So they need to depose Ashley for sure. We know that.
And-
So let's keep Ashley on
But you oversee
the
it.
chopping block, okay?
Okay. So when this says source not disclosed yet, what does that mean to you?
Knowing Ashley, it means that she didn't have the information, but she knew she had.
I got you, Legend
to
Liz.
try to get
We'll
it
work
if
on
she
that,
could.
okay?
Would it mean that she was aware that a donation was made, but not by whom.
What kind of timeline you want, buddy? Let me know, that way I can piece it together. If we get a timeline going, that would be sweet. I want to use it in video. Yeah, we could do it in a video. That would work. We could pretty much start from Resurrection Media Ministries on up. I gotta find the tax paperwork on Resurrection Media Ministries first, because that was the first one that he bankrupted, remember? So I want to, if we're gonna do it, we gotta start from there and go through the bankrupted tax ID numbers, because he's got GMMI, Resurrection Media Ministries, and Kingdom of God Global Church. Let me see if I have that tax ID number already. Stand by.
If she received a deposit in and she checks the accounts every day, then she would have something in there. But as you can see, there was no record as to who deposited that.
Yeah, I have all three tax ID numbers already.
All right, I'm going to ask you to,
or all three EINs. Okay.
review the exhibits 2.1 and 2.2. And just, is it accurate that after you paid the $7,500, there was a balance of $18,115 in that account?
Okay, Legend, I got you,
correct.
And is that the main account?
This would have been the main account, yes.
All right, so exhibit 2.1, what is your understanding of what that is?
This is a counter credit or counter deposit.
And the thing is, Bitterness Bad, is the fact that after this lady died, it sounds like they had a check that they cashed with her signature on it. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of sounds, yeah, they got a PPP loan and they got $30,000 worth cement sticks. Okay, Bitterness Bad, but you're tracking with that though, right? Did you notice that before, prior to this? But that was something that I had kind of picked up on, that this lady died and that they had cashed a check after she died with her signature. I noticed that. That really sounded like some shady shit going on there. So that's you. Fuck you. The attention to detail. That's the thing with these people, is like the attention to detail you have to pay with these people is you have to. Yeah, they still had checks cashed after she died. Yeah, that's the weird thing about it, is like, dude, that lady was dead and you guys were cashing checks in her name. The fuck? Like, that's some weird shit. Yeah, he skirted around it, yes. And here Michelle is saying, hey, this lady died and she died in December, and then still they're cashing checks after she died. Like, how does that happen? Is that even legal to cash a check with the dead person's signature on it?
This is out-of-state counter deposit. And this document is an account activity transaction detail.
You did. He skirted around it full time.
What is 2.2?
And 2.2, Exhibit 2.2 is an expense account activity summary. And it shows check number counter credit of $7,500.
They're bad.
And then a check, 8/26/2014, a check for $60.96. It's for $7,500. But the date on the counter credit shows it's 8/27.
And the check's dated
8/26. And this also shows the counter credit for 8/27.
What's this? So you're referring to Ms. Brannon?
2.1.
Was that 2.1 you were?
2.1, I'm sorry, 2.1.
And you don't know who wrote this counter credit for the deposit of the $7,500?
Right, the fact that like these people are dead, like this can't be confirmed. It's like the questions they're asking, like they can't be confirmed because these people are not dead.
Who wrote that.
And would it be fair to say that Ashley Ware would have tracked down who the source of this deposit for $7,500 was?
It's not fair to say no. I asked her and she didn't know.
Bullshit. They know exactly who the fuck put that money in there. Is Debbie Frazier. They know. That was for the retainer for the legal fees.
She handled a check that was a deposit or contribution. Wouldn't she have marked down who it was from?
If she knew who it was from, if she didn't know who wrote it, she wouldn't have.
I was looking at a check.
She didn't look at a check. It looked like it was a counter deposit that she was not aware of per Exhibit 2-1, it shows a counter credit.
Per se, Your Honor.
State counter credit. We're in
Per
Missouri.
Exhibit 2, Your
This was done
Honor.
somewhere else.
So it's your belief that somebody went to the bank and deposited $7,500 in the general account
That is correct.
in an out-of-state location,
That is correct.
and you don't know the source of it?
I do not.
And Ashley does, according from what your conversations with Ashley are, she does not know the source of it.
That is correct.
Was it a check or cash that was deposited? Because shit, I know some banks, like, you can't make a cash deposit unless you either have an account, you're on some kind of signature card that's to prevent money laundering. Oh man. Come on, up, come.
Wouldn't that be important to know because of tax reasons?
No, not necessarily.
Hold the fuck up. No, Michelle, you don't think it's important to know where money is being deposited in your bank for tax reasons? That's the first time I noticed that. Michelle, you've got to be the fucking sharpest crown in the box, man. What the fuck? For you to just say no, you don't think it's important to know how much money is going into your fucking bank account? Holy shit, Michelle. How did you ever fucking make it through math class? I fucking hate math, Michelle, and I know how much money's in my bank account all the fucking time. And for you to sit here and say, no, it's not important to know about, how much money is going into my bank account, Michelle, that's pretty important. Let me play that again.
Ashley does, according from what your conversations with Ashley are, she does not know the source of it.
That is correct.
Wouldn't that be important to know because of tax reasons?
No, not necessarily.
Oh,
If somebody wants to give an anonymous donation, which we get quite often, it's up to them as to whether or not they want to be notified.
But it's not anonymous if it's a check and there are names on it.
Well, it's not a check. It looked like it was a counter deposit. They could have deposited with cash.
I think this is marked check on the ticket.
No, it doesn't look like it's marked check. All of those have check next to them.
Right, that line is check.
Yeah, well, I have a copy and I can't say this is what we received. Was this. And it could have been, I don't know. I'm not just gonna even speculate.
Where did you get this document?
From Ashley. I had her printed off. Anything as related to the per your subpoena addendum.
So stand by. My dogs are trolling me right now. They're master trolls. I'm telling you guys. We'll get into this because we're going to touch on this.
The subpoena you had asked.
They prepared all these documents for this hearing. That's it. They probably had they know everything, but they probably had no documents to back up their scam. That's the thing, right? Think about that. They know every dollar because my dogs are trolling me, guys. Like, for real. They're sitting back here. Look. They're like, hey, take me outside. I'll be right there. Sit up. Come on, dog. Let's go. Come on. My dogs are master trolls. Okay, yes, they don't give a shit about their donors. Absolutely right, guys.
Or anything that we have pertaining to the $7,500, and that's what I asked her to
Right.
pull, whatever she.
So how can they? Okay, so David, these people accept Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, all that shit. Okay, so for them to sit back, Devil Wears Prada. Yeah, that's on my playlist. That song's actually pretty legit.
Good, and that's what she gave me.
So the same day or within
like
24 hours or so that you have to pay $7,500.
So yes, they know. This whole organization knows where pretty much every dollar goes for the most part. David knows. Michelle knows. I'm sure Joseph. I don't think Joseph would know like how much money's in the bank. He might have access to the money, but he just doesn't know how much is there. But I'm guessing with the mounting of legal fees and everything. I mean, I wonder why the IRS hasn't done any kind of forensic or financial audit on this organization yet. And the fact that David, the fact that you actually came on and said that your organization is being audited every year, it's bad that you audit yourself every year, okay? Because when the IRS looks at your auditing, especially a nonprofit organization every year, that's telling the IRS that there's a big issue with fraud going on. You shouldn't have to be running an audit every year like that, David. But apparently you had to come out and say that and to let everybody know that you're running this integral organization, but we know you're not. And it just shows Michelle just proved it right here by saying that it's not important to know about how much money goes into the bank for tax information. She said, no, it's not important. Michelle, it's very important, okay?
Her Schramm is the retainer.
Mm-hmm.
You have to answer this.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
You get what you say is an anonymous contribution of $7,500.
That is correct.
And you say that you have no way of knowing who deposited that for you at an out-of-state location.
That is correct.
There were no audits, bad bitch. There were none. David just said that, I think, just to say that there.
And around that time or thereabouts, you had a conversation with Deborah Frazier where you expressed some exasperation about having to pay $7,500 to an attorney to represent JMMI with regard to her issues.
That is correct.
Did you express any displeasure with Deborah Frazier at that time?
I never had displeasure towards her. It was towards the situation.
Okay.
Michelle, you were pissed that your fraud is getting called out. That's the displeasure you're having towards the situation, is that your scam is being exposed. It's not displeasure at the cost or anything. It's just displeasure at what's coming. You know what's coming, Michelle.
Give it July.
It's a deposit and credit banks, part of the bank statement off of account ending in 2449.
From JMMI?
Correct, Joshua Media Ministries.
Okay, and I'm going to ask you to look at the two dates that are circled as July 14th, 2014, and ask you to read that across.
Okay. 7/14/14 counter credit 5,000 and 7/14/14 counter credit 5,000.
Okay. The reason you don't make you can't deposit $10,000 in a day is the bank flags it. That's why. How far apart were those deposits?
14/14 counter credit 5,000 and 7/14/14 counter credit 5,000.
You have to split deposits up like that. You can't deposit $10,000 in the same day. Bank will flag it. Big time. That's why I split up the deposits. Yep, Patriot Act. There's also, okay, Cat Mom, check this shit out. Okay, you know how bills have the little metal strip in them? I don't think they do anymore. I don't think they do it. I think they do it a different way now. But anyways, that little strip, okay, in the bills, it's enough to trigger, okay? It's enough to trigger the scanners at the airport. But I think it's different now. Like they put the actual like weight on the bill. So that way, if you go through the airport scanners with more than $10,000 in cash, the fucking alarm will go off and they'll search your bag. The old school bills, like anything $5 and above, had that little strip of metal in it, and that was one way to tell fraud. And then two, it by weight, and it was just enough metal for the metal detectors at airports to pick it up. So that's why they have metal strips in the bills and shit like that, man. Patriot Act. Fuck yeah, they count your money. Goddamn right, they count your money. Uncle Sam don't like being scammed of money. But Uncle Sam can take a lot of things, but Uncle Sam can't take fucking money being scammed out of the system, man. Yeah, like, so say you were even trying to bring money into the country, you know, or worse, even take it out. Think of back in the time when all the cartels were taking money out of the country, you know. They couldn't just be walking through with like 10 grand at a time because it would throw off metal detectors, shit like that. So yeah, like our government had to get smart and they made counter fraud protection. Yeah, Jackie Brown's the dopest movie ever. I love that movie. One of the best movies out there. One of Quentin Tarantino's best movies, no doubt. Jackie Brown. She's all, "Where'd you park the car, Louis? Louis, where'd you park the car, Louis?" She's all, "Did you get lost when you robbed the bank? Did you have to find the car when you robbed the bank?" She's all walking out. What was her name? That was Goldie Hawn, wasn't it? She's all, "Louis, where'd you park the car?" Louis turns around, shoots her. Oh yeah, man. Airports count your money. They know. And that's the thing. So Ordell in the truck, yeah. He's like, "You used to be beautiful, man." Yeah, Bridget Fonda. Okay, sorry. I don't know why I was thinking Goldie Hawn is Bridget Fonda. Isn't it Bridget Fonda is Goldie Hawn's daughter, right, David? I think, don't quote me on that. I don't want to sound dumb, but isn't that her daughter? Or no, it'd be Jane Fonda's daughter. I'm thinking, I don't know. I'm thinking way off, dude. Okay, Peter Fonda. Okay. She's all, "Louis, would you park the car, Louis?" That's the funniest part of the movie. She's all, "I hope you didn't have to find the car when you robbed the bank." Oh man. Anyways, back to Michelle. Concubine Michelle.
What's your understanding of a counter credit?
As I stated earlier, a counter credit is when you would make a credit or a deposit over at the bank.
At the bank in person. Yes.
Yes.
Can you tell where that deposit was made?
Can I tell? No, it just says counter credit, and then
I will too, Count. I'll see if I find it on Netflix. It might be.
Okay, I'm going to show you Exhibit 9-1. Ask me to identify that.
Okay. Exhibit 9-1. This is one of the general ledger that Ashley keeps.
Okay.
So we know Ashley keeps general ledgers. Okay.
And there are 2 circles on that document, and it's around July 12th, 2014.
You want me to read it across?
Right.
Okay. July 12th, 2014. Source is JMMI. June Crusade Promise Seed from Deborah Frazier. $5,000 in a balance. And then 7/12/2014, JMMI June Crusade Promise Seed from Deborah Frazier, $5,000.
So not only did Debbie give up $7,500 attorney fees, but she also gave up 10 fucking grand of her own money to this crusade. 2 days in a row, or 5 grand 2 days in a row. Gave up 5,000 and 5,000, so there's 10 grand. All right, then another 750. What is that? 1,750 just to this asshole. Don't get it. We'll wrap it up there, guys. We've been going for quite a bit here, but Michelle, this was kind of about you tonight, man. Like, I mean, give up the scam, girl. Give it up. Give up your scam. It's not going to go anywhere good for you. David's setting you up, Michelle, and he's setting you up properly. And when it goes down, like when the shit goes down, Michelle, just be ready because you're going to have to answer for all this stuff, man. Promise you. You're going to have to answer for every dollar that's coming into that place. Yeah, good night, family. Y'all be good. Stay safe. David, I hope you fucking roll down the stairs tonight, man, after you shit your pants when you fucking... I want you to shit your pants so the shit rolls down your leg and then you slip at the top of the stairs and just roll down. I don't want you to hurt yourself. I just want you to shit yourself so bad that you like slip in your own shit and like you slip all over the place, man. Yeah, David Verplank, I've been trying to warn you too, Michelle. David's setting you up, Michelle. He is setting you up to go down. Don't believe us, but we're sitting back here watching it, and he is setting you up properly, man. And when it goes down, it's not going to be good for you. You will never be able to hold any job to where they put you in charge of any kind of like money or any kind of credit system or anything like that, because your reputation is going to be so shot for what you've done with this place. It's just, Michelle, you're not going to be able to get a job anywhere in any kind of financial institution because you're going to be brought up on fraud charges. So keep that in mind when you're sleeping at night, Michelle. David set you up, okay?